atom bomb, like the nuclear bomb. Now, remember Nagasaki and Hiroshima? Yes, they were struck by a nuclear bomb. Nuclear bomb uses the nuclear reaction. So the first bomb was invented by Otto Hahn. Otto Hahn, so like he invented that in USA in 1941. Back then in World War II, when they hit Nagasaki and Hiroshima after what happened in Pearl Harbor. Okay, let's go next. Dynamite, and we know him, Alfred Nobel. So Alfred Nobel, he invented the dynamite to help people to discover other cases, like to discover new mines and to open mines easily. But people used it at war, so like that was a very bad thing. So after that happened, after he found that his own creation is being used to killing other people, so he made this like Nobel Prize, which is like related to peace, who's going to be proven like that he or she has made peace or something related to peace in any field, he will take the prize. Okay, it was invented in 1862 in Sweden. Let's go next. Motorcycle was invented by Edward Butler, and it was invented in England, 1848. Okay, so the motorcycle, the original one. Let's go next. The radio. It was invented by J. Macaroni and was invented in 1901. Radio, the old radio, the very old radio. Now let's watch that video about 25 accidents actually helped us to see new things, to discover new inventions that changed the world. Let's watch this video.
Number 25. Saccharin. You know that pink packet of fake sugar that's always sitting on the restaurant table? Well, as sweet as it is, you may be surprised to know where it came from. In 1879, Konstantin Fahlberg, a chemist trying to find an alternative use for coal tar, came home after a long day of work only to notice that his wife's biscuits tasted a lot sweeter. After asking her about it, he realized he hadn't washed his hands after work, and voila. Number 24. Smart dust. Although most students would be a bit upset if their homework all of a sudden exploded in their face, Jamie Link, a graduate student at the University of California, made the most of the situation and ended up changing the world. After the silicon chip she was working on accidentally destroyed itself, she realized that the individual pieces could still function as sensors. Today they're used to detect everything from deadly tumors to biological agents. Number 23. Potato chips. In 1853, George Crumb, a chef in New York, accidentally invented potato chips when an annoying patron kept sending his French fried potatoes back to the kitchen because they were soggy. In an attempt to teach the customer a lesson, Crumb sliced them extra thin, fried them to a crisp, and drowned them in salt. To his surprise, however, the complaining customer actually liked them, and thus potato chips were born. Number 22. Coke. Although these days it's almost common knowledge, this list wouldn't be complete without Civil War veteran turned pharmacist John Pemberton, and what he originally intended is nothing more than a medication. This is also why the original Coke actually did include cocaine on its list of ingredients. Number 21. Popsicles. It was 1905 and soda pop had just become the most popular drink on the market. 11-year-old Frank Epperson decided he wanted to try saving some money by making his own at home. Using a combination of powder and water, he got pretty close but then absent-mindedly left the concoction out on the porch all night. Temperatures ended up dropping severely, and when he came out in the morning he found his mixture frozen with the stirring stick still in it. Number 20. Ice cream cones. Although ice cream had been served on dishes for years, it wasn't until the 1904 World's Fair that the ice cream cone was born. An ice cream stall at the fair was doing so well that they were actually running out of plates, while the neighboring Persian waffle stall was hardly selling anything. The two stall owners came together and had the idea of rolling up the waffles, plopping the ice cream on top, and voila, the ice cream cone was born. Number 19. Teflon. If you've ever cooked an omelet, you can thank Roy Plunkett, a chemist who worked for DuPont in the early 20th century, for accidentally stumbling across the non-reactive no-stick chemical while experimenting with refrigerants. DuPont quickly patented it, and today we know it as Teflon. Number 18. Vulcanized rubber. Number 18. Vulcanized rubber. Charles Goodyear has spent ages trying to find a way to make rubber resistant to heat and cold. After a number of failed attempts, he finally stumbled across a mixture that worked. Before turning out the lights one evening, he accidentally spilled some rubber, sulfur, and lead onto a stove, resulting in a mixture that charred and hardened but could still be used. Number 17. Plastic. In the early 1900s, shellac was the material of choice when it came to insulation. Due to the fact, however, that it was made from Southeast Asian beetles, it wasn't the cheapest thing to import. For this reason, chemist Leo Hendrik Baekeland thought he might be able to make some money by producing an alternative. What he came up with, however, was a moldable material that could be heated to extremely high temperatures without being distorted, aka plastic. Number 16. Radioactivity. The year was 1896 and physicist Henry Becquerel was trying to get fluorescent materials to produce X-rays by being left in the sun. His experiment, however, suffered a week of cloudy, overcast skies. After leaving all of his materials in a drawer, he returned 1 week later only to find that the uranium rock he had left there had managed to imprint its image on a nearby photographic plate without any exposure to light. Number 15. Mauve. Strangely enough, it was while 18-year-old chemist William Perkin was busy researching a cure for malaria that he accidentally ended up changing the fashion world forever. The year was 1856 and one of his experiments ended up going terribly wrong, creating what seemed to be nothing more than a murky mess. As he examined it, however, William noticed a beautiful color radiating from the petri dish. Thus, the world's first synthetic dye was born. Number 14. Pacemaker. Wilson Greatbatch was working on a contraption that would record human heartbeats when he accidentally inserted the wrong resistor. It ended up perfectly mimicking the heart's rhythm and thus gave birth to the first implantable pacemaker. Number 13. Post-it notes. In 1968, Spencer Silver, a chemist working for 3M, stumbled across a low-tack adhesive that he found was just strong enough to hold paper to a surface, but weak enough that it wouldn't tear upon removal. After many failed attempts at finding a marketable application, one of Silver's colleagues, Art Fry, realized that it would be perfect as a no-slip bookmark, and the post-it note was born. Number 12. Microwave. If you're single and you're a guy, then you should be grateful to Percy Spencer, a Navy radar specialist who was tinkering around with microwave emitters when he felt the chocolate bar in his pocket start melting. The year was 1945, and the world, or rather the kitchen, hasn't been the same since. Number 11. The Slinky. During World War II, when Navy engineer Richard James was trying to figure out a way to employ springs aboard Navy ships to keep sensitive instruments from bouncing around, he accidentally dropped one of them. To his amusement, the spring immediately righted itself and landed straight up on the floor. Since then, kids everywhere have enjoyed playing around with this pointless toy. Number 10. Play-Doh. Maybe it comes as no surprise that the smelly, gooey stuff kids have been playing with for decades was originally intended as wallpaper cleaner. In the early 20th century, however, people quit using coal to heat their homes, which meant that wallpaper stayed relatively clean. Luckily for Cleo McVicker, the original inventor, his son discovered another use: modeling clay. Number 9. Superglue. While developing plastic lenses for gun sights, Harry Coover, a researcher at Kodak Laboratories, stumbled across a synthetic adhesive made from cyanoacrylate. At the time, however, he rejected it as being far too sticky to be of any use. Years later, though, it was rediscovered and is today sold under the trade name of Superglue. Number 8. Velcro. Swiss engineer Georges de Mestral was on a hunting trip with his dog when he noticed how burrs would stick to its fur. Eventually, he managed to replicate the effect in his laboratory, but it wasn't until NASA came along that the technology was really popularized. Number 7. X-rays. They're not the first electromagnetic wave that was discovered by accident, but in 1895, when Wilhelm Röntgen was performing an experiment using cathode rays, he realized that some fluorescent cardboard across the room was actually lighting up in spite of the fact that there was a thick block between the cathode ray and the cardboard. The only explanation was that the light rays were actually passing through the solid block. Number 6. Safety glass. After Edouard Benedictus, a French chemist, accidentally knocked a flask off his desk, it fell to the ground, but rather than shattering, it only cracked. Upon closer inspection, he realized that it had recently contained plastic cellulose nitrate, which had coated the inside of it and kept it from coming apart on impact. Number 5. Cornflakes. When Will Keith Kellogg began helping his brother cook meals for patients at the sanitarium at which he worked, he ended up accidentally stumbling across the recipe for cornflakes after leaving some bread dough sitting out for several hours. Upon finding the flaky dough, he decided to see what would happen, so he baked it anyway, and the rest is history. Number 4. Dynamite. It's not like humanity just recently discovered how to blow things up. Gunpowder and nitroglycerin have been around for ages. The issue, however, especially in the case of nitroglycerin, was its instability. It wasn't until Alfred Nobel accidentally discovered a method of containing the substance without hindering its power that people could really start having a blast. Number 3. Anesthesia. Although there's no single person that can be definitively credited with discovering anesthesia, if you've ever had an operation, you can thank the likes of Crawford Long, William Morton, and Charles Jackson, all who first noticed the anesthetic effects of various drugs such as nitrous oxide or laughing gas due to the fact that they were used extensively for recreational purposes. Number 2. Stainless steel. Next time you enjoy your dinner by way of a rust-free fork, remember to thank 20th century arms manufacturers for hiring Harry Brearley, an English metallurgist who developed a non-rusty gun barrel. Shortly after testing his creation on various corrosives, one of which was lemon juice, he realized that it would be perfect for cutlery. Number 1. Penicillin. While studying Staphylococcus, Alexander Fleming added some of the bacteria to petri dishes before leaving for a vacation. Although he'd expected the bacteria to grow, upon returning he was surprised to find a mold growing in the dishes instead. After a close inspection, he found that the mold released a byproduct which inhibited the growth of the staph, thus giving birth to the first antibiotic in the world.
So that was about inventions. I know that the second topic always is smaller, so that's the thing. So that's all about inventions. Now let's introduce one more thing related to grammar to discuss it again, and then we go to something related to how to speak English fluently and how to speak English easily. Now let's introduce this related to grammar. It's through a story. We'll introduce like so and such. We'll introduce it, then we come and explain.
Hey, how's it going?
Great.
Such a sunny day today, huh?
It is.
Yeah.
Very sunny.
What if I said it's
You're about to discover the secret to learning a language in 10 days. And what's amazing is that it only takes
interesting
English grammar
with John.
with Gideon.
Anyway, as I was saying.
Hello and welcome to Fun and Interesting English Grammar. Today we're going to learn the difference between so and such for exclamations. We use so before an adjective. For example, it's so hot today. She's so happy. We also use so before an adverb. He ran so quickly. We use such before an adjective with a noun. It's such a beautiful day. They are such pretty flowers. We can also use such before a noun on its own. For example, he's such a genius. That's it. Now have a look at our sketch, then answer the questions.
This is such an interesting book, John.
Oh yeah, what's it about?
It's about a man who's looking for a treasure on an island.
Ah, okay, what's it called?
Treasure Island.
Ah, original title.
Yeah. What are you doing, John?
Yeah, I'm looking at some photos from my holiday. It was such a wonderful trip.
Lanzarote? Yeah.
No.
Let's see.
Give it back.
That beach looks so beautiful.
Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah.
And you had such lovely weather.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Oh, that looks so delicious.
It was very nice. Yeah.
Hold on. Who's that with you on the beach?
I know, yeah, it doesn't look like her, but it's my mother. It's my mother, yeah.
That's not your mother.
Yeah, it is.
That's my girlfriend. Gertrude. John, you're such a scoundrel. Ah. This is such an interesting book.
It was such a wonderful trip.
That beach looks so beautiful. Oh, that looks so delicious. You're such a scoundrel.
Well done. Now you know the difference between so and such for exclamations. For the transcript of this video, and for more English grammar videos, go to letthemtalk.fr or montyenglish.co.uk.
So, after introducing this through this video, let's try to explain it. Now, so the video here was talking about so and such, okay? So we have so, and we have such. Now what's the difference between so and such? Now, we said we don't actually try to explain grammar, we understand it from the sentence. It's so beautiful. Or that book is, or the beach is. The beach is so beautiful. So here so means what here? So here means what? Very nice. So here means very. Okay? So it's so beautiful, it's very beautiful. Okay? Now here, so, we understand that it comes before an adjective. Very nice. Before the adjective. Okay? Now let's go to another one. This is such he's such a genius. He's such a genius. That means what? Here it means what? Okay, sorry. So here it means what? Here it comes before? Very nice, before a noun. So here, so and such, both of them equal somehow, but one of them comes before the adjective, one of them comes before a noun. Normally such is followed by one of the articles, a or an. Normally, because it normally comes after one noun or something like that. So that's the idea about so and such. Now, let's talk about something, how to speak English easy. We will watch this video, then we will discuss what's inside the video.
You're about to discover the secret to learning a language in 10 days. And what's amazing is that it only takes 30 minutes a day. Now, just to be clear, by
So, after this video, what did we see? We saw this, that he talked about how to learn. And he insisted that you learn through listening. We said like implicit learning, that's the correct one. Okay. Now, so why? Because the implicit learning, you actually leave information, like you let information enter your mind, enter your like system. So the thing is like when you have information, when you have sentences, it will be easier for you to use them. So you have lots of methods to do like so. So the problem here is how many minutes do you actually practice every day? That's the question you should ask yourself. Now, even like after this course, it's not just about the course, it's about you as well. How do you practice? And how much time do you spend practicing? Now, you need a lot of time to practice. You need like to listen a lot. To practice a language, needs like lots of effort, needs dedication, you know. Dedication means like I give it time every day. Like every day I have like some time for practicing this specific thing. Every day I have some time to do so. Every time I have like some time to watch a movie, to listen to a song, to watch a documentary, to listen to a conversation on YouTube or something like that. So all of these are things you need to do daily, correct? So the thing is here, like if you're not doing that, you will improve but slow. And everyone wants to improve fast. So the improvement is not related to the course. Your improvement is related to how much effort you do, how much practice. That's the correct thing. Okay. Now, how many times do you practice a week? Now, do you just practice when you have a session, or you do practice every day? That's the question. That's the difference between a person and another. This is how everyone learns English. Oh, this is how everyone learns anything. Do you think I was born with English? No, of course I've learned English. Learned English like from courses. I've learned English through the implicit English. So lots of things, lots of methods you have to apply. Okay, our goal is not just to speak English. Because if we're talking about speaking English, if I have like a couple of vocabulary, these vocabulary will actually help me to speak. Not properly, but I will speak and the other person will understand me. That's the point. But here is not the point. This is not the point here. The point here is like how to speak English properly. Properly means what? Means in a correct, normal way, good way. So how to do this? These like starts by listening. So it starts by listening and ends by applying these listening things. As he said, the imitation actually like method, that's one of the things. And the courses, the speaker courses, that's another thing. You have lots of like things like this. How about when you listen to English conversation? You have lots of methods to listen to English conversations. Lots of methods to practice your own English. You have lots of things to do. Like applying these will help you a lot. Okay? Now you are at an advanced level, so you're not a beginner. Okay? So I recommend you to do like the implicit English related to imitation. Imitation, that means what? Try to listen to stories, listen to conversations, and try to say it with your own words. Like for example, okay, let's listen to some people talking, okay? Like Ahmed is talking to Muhammad about like anything. Like let's say he wants to go out. Okay, he wants to go out. He wants to like visit his uncle or whatever, okay? So, we have like a conversation here, a sample, like talking about the house. Okay, so let's listen to the sampling and try to say it our own, with our own selves. Okay, our own vocabulary.
You have got a beautiful house, Mona.
Yes, I am proud of it. I wanted a house with a big garden.
And it is in a peaceful area.
I am happy that you liked it.
When did you purchase this house?
We purchased it just 2 months ago.
How much?
And luckily he succeeded.
A big achievement indeed. And he is lucky that he got a wonderful wife like you.
I am glad to hear. Why did you not marry Rahan? You had many girlfriends in college.
I did not find a girl of my choice whom I could marry. Why do you not find a girl like you?
There is a very nice girl working in my office. If you want, I can arrange meeting. I hope you will like her.
Please do it fast. I'll wait for your call.
For this video, you see, like it's a small conversation. So you can find all these stuff easy. And try to say each sentence with your own words. Learn their names and try to say it. Like for example, he says, I want to buy a house. Okay? He wants to buy a house. I want to go to the bathroom. He wants to go to the bathroom. I will visit my uncle next year. He will visit his uncle next year. I have eaten my lunch. He has eaten his lunch. You see, so I'm trying to say the sentences, the same sentences, but with my own words, which is I change the grammar, I change the vocabulary, I change everything. So it helps me actually to improve my vocabulary. It helps me to improve my grammatical part. Now, we said before, we do not study grammar. When you study grammar, it becomes like boring rules, boring things you do, and you focus on studying, focus on memorizing the whole thing. That's wrong, because this is not actually using grammar. You have to know how to use this grammatical rule. And to know how to use this grammatical rule, you need to practice it. Practice it like this. Like for example, here he was talking about something in the past, something now, something in the future. So here, like in this small conversation, he said, I purchased. I purchased. I purchased. Purchased, that means I've bought. Okay? Like I bought this house with $400,000. Okay? So I purchased. So that's past. Now the other one was talking about what? I will never earn that amount of money, or even now I'm working all of my life, I will never. So I talk about future. Now I'm happy. So you see, I'm talking about now. I'm happy. So it depends like this. You listen to the conversation, try to say it with your own words on that person. Helps you to remember always that with the verb, with he, she, it takes S. He has, she has, it has, but I have, they have, you have. You see? So this is how we learn how to use it in a correct way in grammatical part and other. Okay? Now today, we've talked about news. We've talked about sections of news, lots of things about sections of news. Also, we've talked about different types of news reporters and other things. Like when we actually show you videos about reporters about for example, news about fashion, news about let's say food, news about health and everything. Okay? And news are worldwide. All of these are different reporters. Also, we've talked about inventions and some inventors. Also, let's add one more thing about inventions. We've talked about it before, but let's add it again. We've talked about the passive before. What's the passive? The passive, I use it when the doer is unknown. That's very nice. So the passive is the doer is unknown. So for example, it was invented in 1985. 1985. It was invented. What's that? The machine. Who invented that? We don't know. You see? So that's the passive. To recap what's about the passive. Okay. So that's all for today. So we've talked about lots of stuff today. I hope it was useful. Thank you very much. This was Ahmed Raga from Academic Professional Training. I'll see you in the future, inshallah, in the different levels. And have fun and enjoy your day. Thank you very much.